The Kenyan Supreme Court's recent decision to declare the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, unconstitutional has provoked a strong reaction from members of Parliament, MPs, across all political parties. This ruling, which concludes a protracted legal dispute dating back to 2013, brings to the forefront important issues regarding the rule of law and the separation of powers in Kenya. On September 21, 2024, the Supreme Court determined that the CDF Act breaches the principles of separation of powers, rendering it unconstitutional. The five-judge bench, headed by Chief Justice Martha Koome, concluded that the legislation allowing MPs to oversee these funds encroaches on the responsibilities assigned to the executive branch and contravenes public finance laws. The judges stressed that funds meant for service delivery should not involve legislative bodies in their execution, necessitating their management within either county or national executive frameworks. This significant ruling nullifies a financial system that has been crucial for development projects at the constituency level, providing at least KH 100 million annually to each constituency. The court's decision represents a major change in the management and allocation of public funds in Kenya. Following the ruling, MPs from both ruling and opposition parties have come together to express their disapproval. They claim that the decision hampers their capacity to provide services to their constituents and jeopardizes local development efforts. The National Assembly has announced its intention to appeal the ruling, aiming to contest all conclusions regarding the CDF Act's constitutionality. This bipartisan unity highlights an unusual moment of political cohesion in an otherwise divided political landscape. The collective discontent among MPs indicates a broader concern about judicial overreach and its impact on legislative authority. Many lawmakers perceive this ruling as an encroachment on their constitutional duty to effectively represent their constituents. They argue that such judicial decisions could establish a precedent that restricts parliamentary power and independence, potentially upsetting the balance of power among government branches. The consequences of this ruling go beyond immediate financial issues, touching on essential aspects of governance and accountability in Kenya. The CDF was initially intended to empower local communities through development projects, but its management by MPs has faced criticism for lacking transparency and potential fund misuse. By declaring it unconstitutional, the Supreme Court seeks to uphold the principle that public funds should be managed by suitable executive bodies rather than legislators who might have conflicting interests. However, the MP's backlash raises important questions about respect for judicial authority and the rule of law. If Parliament successfully overturns this ruling, it could compromise judicial independence and set a concerning precedent for future interactions between the legislative and judicial branches. Conversely, if the court's decision is upheld, it may lead to significant changes in the structure and distribution of development funding at local levels. The Supreme Court's ruling that the CDF is unconstitutional has sparked an intense debate about governance, accountability, and the separation of powers in Kenya. As MPs prepare to challenge this decision, their unified position marks a crucial moment in Kenyan politics, one that could redefine not only the management of public funds, but also the relationship between government branches. The outcome of this legal battle is likely to have enduring effects on Kenya's democratic framework and its dedication to maintaining the rule of law.